Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the WCW Saturday Night Review for the 12th of November, 1994. We are close to Starrcade, about a month away from Beefcake and Hogan being the main event of Starrcade. That's not a good idea, but it's an idea that WCW had at the time. Anyway, the match opens with Dustin Rhodes in an enhancement talent match. Rhodes kind of wandering around aimlessly here. Arm bars, arm locks, and the like on the enhancement talent of the day. And they basically go back and forth. Dustin Rhodes fallen a great deal from his station over the last year, including getting into tag matches with his father. Arn Anderson matches along the way here, which is basically what they're building towards, although they're not really talking a lot about it. Bulldog by Dustin, and then another obligatory, I guess, commercial for the Hulk Hogan Hotline. Enhancement talent match for Steve Austin up next, as Austin kind of gets rocked by the enhancement talent with a couple of shoulder tackles. Austin, a former U.S. champion, of course, dropping the title to Hacksaw Jim Duggan in what many people consider to be an unnecessary bit there. Spinning toe hold maneuver by Austin does the Hollywood Invine. Austin basically gets a victory via submission, basically says he wants his belt back and wants his life back as Stunning Steve Austin. He has obviously months ago broken away from the clutches of the Hollywood Blondes, probably the best thing he did in WCW at the time. But that was not to be, as the Austin basically says he wants the U.S. title back from Duggan, going to get it back as soon as possible, but Vader ends up taking it at Starrcade anyway, so it doesn't really necessarily matter. Anyway, Stars and Stripes, the Patriot and Marcus Alexander Bagwell, they've been teaming for a while and going back and forth with Harlem Heat among other teams. In an enhancement match here, of course, the Patriot, Del Wilkes, who does the Patriot gimmick across global WCW and the WWF. Bagwell coming in as the All-American Patriot just strikes me as weird. He gets a clothesline and a couple of drop kicks on enhancement talent here. Match doesn't really bode well for the enhancement talent, not that it should at the same time. Match goes a little longer than it should with the nature of the match being what it is. Snaps him over and promises to be pretty basic. Suplex splash from the top rope, double team finish for Bagwell and the Patriot. By this point, Scorpio, I believe, has gone back to Japan, which is sad because Scorpio is obviously a better overall talent for what they were trying to do, which is differentiate at the time. Honky Tonk Man here, I did not realize. For some reason, I had the opinion that he had left after Halloween Havoc. I was incorrect, as he does show up a couple of times in December, but Honky Tonk Man doesn't enter 1995 as a WCW employee. Very basic stuff. They give him a new song. He's doing the old Elvis gimmick along the way. Cranks up on a reverse chin lock and does a modified neck breaker to get the victory. Promises to sing and dance and get the television championship from Johnny B. Bad. Says he doesn't know or didn't know that there was a time limit on championship matches in the way that there was. Claims to want to sing and dance and entertain more than anything else, and that is his promo for the moment. Enhancement talent match tag team style. Up next, actually a fan in the crowd with a mask on, which is kind of funny if you think about it. Harlem Heat out next, and some of the crowd behind them, but also many of the crowd chanting for their main opponents of the moment, which are the Nasty Boys. Harlem Heat managing to be one of the better teams. Sister Sherry has been a major part of their life over the last little while. Hook up by the enhancement talents here. Staying on the arms, keeping it pretty basic. Cut off of the ring, more basics. Harlem Heat managing to do brawling, punch kick, not anything worth writing home about until they are in a match match with something beyond enhancement talent. Their enhancement talent matches run longer than they should. Cutoffs, and Harlem Heat eventually gets the Harlem Hangover for the victory. Hulk Hogan comes out promising again that whether it be at the Clash or at Starrcade, he's going to obliterate any adversaries that they may have, including but not limited to getting rid of his own former brother Brutai, aka the Butcher, member of the Three Faces of Fear. Goofy gimmick at the time, but that's what they were doing. Vader, who is the soon-to-be U.S. champion, defeating Jim Duggan at the Starrcade pay-per-view, is up next with a enhancement talent match here. Why I'd forgotten that he went into 1995 and beyond, I do not know. Should have remembered this, but didn't. Harley Race is still his manager here at the end of 1994, which I also did not remember. Press slams among other power moves by Vader. Vader dominating as he always does in enhancement challenge matches. Vader eventually hits a choke slam and a power bomb and gets the victory. Challenge made both to Jim Duggan and Hulk Hogan. Vader basically claiming to still be the man at a level at which Hogan nor Duggan could possibly be. John Stevenson is an enhancement talent match for the next bunch of little bit here. And we see Jim Duggan as his opponent, U.S. champion Jim Duggan, who had defeated Steve Austin. Many wrestling purists have bemoaned that decision for quite a while. Duggan uses spinning body slams and the basic stuff there. Duggan eventually gets the clothesline that he's known for and the diving knee. Then we go to the, I guess you'd say, main event match of the evening with the Avalanche and Kevin Sullivan, I believe, as the tag team of the day. Butcher doesn't do a great deal of wrestling at the time. Still behind his face. Kevin Sullivan and the Avalanche against Sting and Evad Sullivan here. Both guys are taped up around the middle, not quite sure what that's about. I assume it is a brawl, a series of attacks from the Three Faces of Fear. Evad Sullivan, otherwise known as Dave Sullivan, getting right after his storyline brother Kevin with the Hulk Hogan bandana. Basically, they do a Eugene-style character with him where he acts a little slow, actually a lot slow. In his pursuit of Hulkamania, he wants to be a Hulkamaniac. Cut off of the ring on Sullivan by Avalanche and Kevin Sullivan, as he takes the majority of the heat of the match. Tries to get back to Sting, doesn't do as much as he wants. Sting finally does get back in, Stinger splash, and a benefit of a couple of drop kicks on the Avalanche, clothesline on the Avalanche. Sting had Sullivan before that in the Scorpion Deathlock, but Avalanche runs in. Sting goes to the top rope, hits a flying clothesline, and Avalanche stumbles off to the corner, never leaving his feet, but Sting hits the Stinger Splash and gets caught in a power slam. Nice sequence of moves, as much as they look a little convoluted. The cutoff there is pretty aggressive. The babyfaces do eventually win, and we close the program with promises from Sting and Evad Sullivan to eliminate the Faces of Fear eventually, coming up at the Starrcade pay-per-view, network per-view, and without a doubt, the promise is there. It's not exactly a good promise, but it is what it is, and that will close us for today. We'll be back with more right after this.